Hi everybody, welcome back to OG Reflections. This is my YouTube channel. I'm a content creator, an English teacher, a writer, and this is where I share my content, which is a little bit educational, inspirational, motivational. And on this video, or in this video today, I'm going to be sharing another story from A Thousand Thoughts Like Thunder, which I mentioned before is my book. It's a collection of short stories that are meant to be vague and confusing, and the short stories are not related to each other, so you can read them in a non-chronological way. In the description and up above here you will find that I've already read story 1, 2 and actually I think number 4, or as we said, we're not reading in chronological order. I've read 3 stories before, and today I'm going to be reading another story. Okay, again, not in order. The name of this story is A Tangled Web. Okay, A Tangled Web. Okay, we've already read The Road Less Traveled By, which is a story about escaping the past. My Life as a Thief, which is a story about guilt. And Time's Up, which is a story about, dare I say, death. Okay, so today we're going to be reading A Tangled Web. Very good, which is a very short story, and it is page 40. So let me go to page 40. Bismillah, and let us read together A Tangled Web. Okay, A Tangled Web. And as always, I'm going to be reading it, and then at the end, please, I would love to hear your comments and your thoughts down below in the comment section. So, Bismillah, A Tangled Web. There are 3 distinct people inside me, each a separate identity that was connected to the rest. Not 1, not 2, but 3 people within. Number 3, also known as me, naturally came the last. And through every situation, 3 would always silently watch them talking, laughing, having fun, the normal things of any life. That's how things were supposed to be. Unity. This way, 3 felt alive, happier than life. But who was in control? The problem is that with time, 1 and 2 grew to be 2 conflicting forces, ready to rip each other's face off for power and rule. Not only to realize that they were actually ripping 3. I was grieved at the beginning, unable to understand how 2 parts of me would attack each other. But since 3 was still there, that meant that they still had a common thread. This gave me hope that things would be solved and that the wounds would be healed. I felt loved when they worked together in harmony for common goals, and felt disappointed and cheated when they didn't. Both 1 and 2 were wrong in their own unique ways. 1 was stupid, careless and carefree, almost intentionally showing that there was no ounce of affection in 1. 2 on the other side of the spectrum was more mature, but when 2 could not take it any longer, 2 would retaliate, unleashing hell on 1. And so the 2 original forces within me thought that they hurt the other, but as it turned out, they were hurting number 3 the most. It was a mess, like a spider's tangled webs. They all lived inside, but none dealt with the other. 3 was angry and wanted to shout. Yet because 3 was the youngest force, 3's voice would not be heard, no impact whatsoever. And so 3 abstained from the other 2 forces, not wanting to show them that 3 approved of what they did to gain control. It sickened 3 when each force complained to him about the other. Tell 2 that blah blah blah, 1 would say. Tell 1 that blah blah blah, 2 would say. That's all 3 heard for many years from them. Becoming the liaison, 3 was forced to do their idiotic requests. Since things were not working out, the only solution was for all 3 forces to depart, each to rule their own land. That would have been for the best, making sure everyone was content. But they all stayed inside, still wishing to gain control, for some reason. You'd think that one of them would have left and disappeared by time, for they had no reason to be there inside together, but no, they just swallowed and got on with it. They stayed and none ever left, making it worse than ever. And so 3 waited and waited and waited till it was time. His time. Now, as everything built up over time, 3 is no longer sad or weak, and 3 is extremely, immensely, intensely powerful. Now it was 3's time to take over, his time to rule. And so now 1 and 2 merely exist as prisoners in the shadows, pleading to be a part of 3, if we could still call him 3. That is what remains inside. The end. Very good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. This was the story of A Tangled Web. A little bit shorter, but still very vague. But I think it's clear to understand. I'm going to give you a hint. Or should I not? I don't know. But it's sort of related to... Well, the story's... the story says that there's 3 distinct people inside a person. I think that's pretty clear to understand that it's talking about sort of like inner conflict, right? The force of good, the force of bad, maybe, and then something that results at the end. Yeah, everybody can understand it in his own way. Everybody faces inner conflict at one point in their life. Okay. As for me as a writer, I wrote it specifically with a certain intention, but you might understand it from your own perspective, right? You have 2 different forces within you trying to fight for control of something. But what results at the end, number 3, that is a totally different thing. Okay, and it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, it could be a mix of both of them together, it could be a monster. God knows best, eh? But yeah, so that's it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this story. Please give me your thoughts and your ideas and your comments. Tell me if you liked this story, which story have you liked so far. And that's us for today. So thank you very, very, very much. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Good.